Friends, I am Dr. Sanjeev Trehan. I am a surgeon. I have experience in both the government as well as the corporate sector. I am an entrepreneur and I have public speaking experience of more than 30 years. The topic for today is willpower is the key to success. Willpower is comparable to a muscle. You can strengthen this willpower with exercise, and it gets fatigued during the course of the day like a muscle. This is the crux of my speech on which I am going to dilate. Now, what is a successful person? A successful person is one who has a satisfying career, who has a good family life, who has good wealth, who has good physical and mental health, and who has the freedom to pursue his passions. If I ask you, what are the characters you feel a person should possess so that he becomes successful in life? You would say he should be hardworking, he should be honest, he should be a brave person who can make the decisions, he should be creative, he should be kind-hearted and a compassionate person. Psychologists and learned people across the globe, they are of the conclusion that there are two determinants of success. One is intelligence and the other is willpower or self-control. Willpower or self-control or self-discipline, it is one and the same thing. To be successful in life, first and foremost thing is that you should set your goals, both short-term as well as long-term. Once you have set up the goals, then you should make a roadmap to achieve those goals. Then you should try to imagine the feeling of the fulfillment of these goals, because this will give you an emotional kick and this will motivate you to work hard in the direction of your goals. Now, what is this willpower or self-control? Willpower is the inner, hidden, driving force within you, which will bring out your good qualities and help you in achieving your goals. Self-control is a self-regulation in order to alter your responses and decrease the bad behaviors and increase your good behavior in order to achieve these goals. As I said, willpower is comparable to a muscle. You can strengthen this muscle. As with physical exercise, a sportsman can strengthen his physical muscles. Same way with a lot of mental exercises, you can strengthen your willpower. Now, what are these mental exercises? For example, let's go to the basics, the alarm clock. You set up an alarm to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You are supposed to get up at 6 a.m. As the bell rings, you have two choices, either to get up or press the snooze button. Initially, what will happen is you will press the snooze button and then the battle will start in your brain. One part of your brain will say go to sleep. The other part of your brain will be trying to wake you up that you should get up. You have got a lot of things to do today. You were supposed to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And all these kinds of things will go on between those two parts of the brain. Now what will happen is, after 2, 3 or 4 days, you will be getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning as the alarm bell rings. Finally, you will win it. There's another game. All of you must have played it. The game of statue. Unknowingly, that game of statue increases your willpower. What happens in this game is that the monitor of the game, he says the word statue, and you have to freeze yourself in whatever position you are and stay in that position for as long as possible in order to win the game. Supposing your hand is in this position, you have to keep it in this position. Supposing your hand is in this position, you have to keep it in this position. You are not supposed to even blink your eyes. But the moment you will freeze yourself, signals will start coming from that part of the brain in order to undo what you are doing. They will say, bring your hand down. Why have you kept it like that? But you have to keep it like that. That fight between in the brain will continue for a few seconds, maybe for a few minutes. And finally, either you will win or that part of the brain will win. If you win, you succeed. And what happens is, in this game, the more you practice, you will find for longer duration, you can remain in a freezed position. That is what is the exercise I'm telling you in order to increase your willpower. For example, I tell you today, don't watch the Facebook the whole day. Normally also you may not be watching the Facebook. But the moment you will take a call that I am not going to watch the Facebook, you will have 101 reasons during the day to watch the Facebook. But you have to resist all those reasons and not to watch the Facebook. And if you are able to do it, the next morning you will feel more stronger that I have done it. I have done it. And that is what is the willpower. Same, you can try it. Like you decide you are not going to play your favorite digital game today. You decide that you are going to keep a fast 2 days after. You are not going to gain anything from that fast, but what you are going to gain is that your willpower will increase. All these exercises, you can do it time and again. Even in adulthood, the willpower can be increased by doing these exercises. Nobody will come to know that you are doing the exercises. Set up the goals for yourself and do these exercises time and again in order to increase your willpower. Now, what happens at the brain level? You know, brain is made of 10 parts. One part is the consciousness and 9 parts are the subconsciousness. It is this consciousness or this conscious brain is the notorious brain. The subconscious brain, once you do these exercises, the subconscious brain gets activated. And this unconscious brain, the notorious brain, that gets controlled. Or you can say the notorious brain also realizes that this man is not going to listen to me and I will have to follow his command. Once these 10 parts of the brain start working in one direction, that means you have attained a meditative mind. You have switched over your mode to a meditative mind. And once you have achieved this kind of a self-control, you will find that things are getting done very smoothly. You are achieving your goals with little efforts because you are working it in that direction. Life is comparable to a flowing river. Like the twists and the turns of the river, the same way when you are moving in a crowd, you are also having a roller coaster ride like a river. But once you achieve this level of self-control, when you have attained almost the meditative mode, you will find that the temperature of that water, it rises, it starts boiling, and then the steam becomes, and then you move much above the crowd. Here I would like to give you one example of Kapil Dev, the great cricketer from Chandigarh. What heights he achieved. When he was in school, there were many other players along with him, and I have read it in the newspapers, in the local newspapers. Well, these are the budding cricketers of Chandigarh who have the potential to make it to the Indian team. But what happened? Those 2-3 players who were better than him at the school level or even at the early college level, they got lost on the way. But this man who maintained a good willpower a good self-control and self-discipline, he attained the heights. This is what happens. This is the strength of the willpower, my dear friends, which I am trying to tell you. Now, coming on to the second part, that is the tiredness of the muscle and your willpower getting decreased during the course of the day. Well, the psychologists, they have carried out the researches, and they are of the opinion that after a tough mental exercise, there is, the willpower decreases. And they have given the term ego depletion to this condition when your willpower goes down. Roy Baumeister, a scientist and a social psychologist from the University of Queensland, he has done a lot of experiments on this and finally concluded that it is the glucose levels, they go down, and that's why your willpower decreases. And it has been observed that if you have a strong willpower, then it is not necessary that this glucose levels will go down. Though this glucose is being utilized by the neuropathways, and that's why it goes down after a tough mental exercise. So finally, I have to say, once you strengthen your muscle of willpower, when you attain that willpower to that level of meditative mode, and you learn to control your ego depletion, you learn to control the falling down of your willpower, then you will be recognized from the crowd. Why? Because you will be very composed and very humble. You will be proactive. You will be punctual. You will be one of the favorite person of your bosses. You will be one of the favorite student of your teachers. You will be getting higher grades in your school. And if you are a working professional, you will be completing your targets well in time. So it's better to work on willpower and achieve higher levels of willpower and achieve higher goals in your life. In the end, I have to tell you something about Vincent van Gogh, a Dutch painter. Vincent van Gogh, a Dutch painter, he was living in a madhouse. He was a madman, and he used to come out of the madhouse to make his paintings. In 1889, he made a series of paintings showing cypress trees. These cypress trees he showed in those paintings going beyond the stars. Somebody asked him, Vincent, have you seen this kind of a scene anywhere? What unrealistic painting you have made? You know what his reply was? His reply was, this is the willpower of the earth. And one day we will be there. He said it way back in 1889. Practice these exercises, strengthen your willpower, and achieve your goals. With this, I end this topic, and I request you all to kindly give your comments in the comment section and give me suggestions for the next topics. And if you like it, please share it and subscribe it.